Hello, everybody out there in Rumble, X, and YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego, and today we're going to talk about The Housemaid from 2025. The Housemaid, which seems to be the movie that every chick out there, and maybe a few gay guys out there, although I don't really see too much of that, that all you middle-aged white liberal women are in love with. Okay, it's the thing that's getting you all already down there, if you know what I mean. Yeah, it's an erotic thriller. Ooh, with the woman that most of you liberal women hate, but I think the majority of you women out there like her. Okay, Sydney Sweeney. Okay, now Sydney Sweeney's the it girl right now. Okay, she's the hot girl right now. Next year it'll be somebody else, but right now it's her. Okay, every 6 months they change it. I remember when it was Anna de Armas. I remember when it was, what's her name? Anya Taylor-Joy. That was a couple of years ago. I mean, it's always shifting. There's always a new it girl, a new sexy, hot it girl. Okay? And right now, Sydney Sweeney is that it girl. Okay? And what makes her stick out, what makes her different from all the other manufactured girls that Hollywood is trying to make into a thing, what separates her from those, okay, is that Sydney Sweeney is actually sexy. Okay, she's not pretty, she's sexy. Women like pretty. Most women are average looking. Most women are pretty. They're not intimidated by pretty. Okay, I'm back in my generation, like the Julia Roberts, the Meg Ryans. Okay, those were the chick flick queens. Okay, because they were pretty, not sexy. Pretty. Okay, those are the ones that women related to. It's the relatability. Okay, even like Sandra Bullock was, it depends on what movie she was in. So in some movies she was sexy, like in Demolition Man, but in most movies she was pretty, like in The Blind Side or something like that. Okay, so it all depends. Okay, but that's what Hollywood manufactures. They manufacture these women. Okay, because Hollywood is run by liberal feminist women and gay guys. Because of that, they are manufacturing. They're trying to tell you what you should find attractive. Okay, they figure instead of the media. Okay, Hollywood is supposed to reflect culture. Okay, it creates culture and then it reflects it back to us. Okay, that's how it's supposed to happen. Okay, it's not supposed to manufacture culture. Okay, you see what I mean? Men and women are still attracted to certain things. Okay, well, Hollywood is trying to program us. No, you shouldn't be attracted to that. You should be attracted to this. Okay, that's what they're trying to do. Okay, well, that's what they've been doing. That's why you get all these mid women who are like getting these contracts to star in these incredible movies. Okay, like Tatiana Maslany, she's not pretty. Okay, I'm trying to think of them. I don't watch this stuff, so I don't really know. Okay, but there's a lot of them out there. Okay, and y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay, these women that are average looking or even over the hill, like Nicole Kidman. Okay, this woman's over the hill. Okay, she don't even be starring these erotic thrillers anymore. All right, but Hollywood is over here telling you what you need to be attracted to. All right, and it just don't work. Okay. It doesn't work, okay? And the reason women hate Sydney Sweeney, what makes her separate from all the other manufactured women that are out there, okay, that they're trying to push on you, is that Sydney Sweeney is actually sexy. She's sexy. And by that, I mean men find her attractive, okay? And by that, I also mean women are intimidated by her, okay? She is sexy. She has a beautiful face. She has beautiful knockers. Even we know this, okay? Come on. We know this, okay? I know you women don't like it when your boyfriends or husbands stare at them, but they do because they're there, okay? And they're real, okay? She's sexy. She is sexy, okay? She can raise a dick, okay? In a way that, whatever modern day feminist crap woman is out there right now that they're trying to make out, that they're trying to make her to be like the next thing, okay? It's just not going to work. Okay, it's just not. Okay, because if you're appealing for sexy, that's Sydney Sweeney is sexy. It's like you gave a porn star like a legitimate movie. Okay, that's what Sydney Sweeney is. Okay, and that's something that drives right into the primal nature of men. Okay, we see an attractive woman, that's it, we're attracted to her. Okay, we want to have sex with her, at least in our imagination, of course. Men are visual. We're visual creatures. We don't care about her personality. We're not trying to marry her. Okay, we're not trying to be her boyfriend. We don't care about her personality. We don't care about what her job is or how much money she makes. Okay, we don't give a shit about any of that stuff. Okay, is she sexy? Am I attracted to her? You see what I mean? Okay, and Hollywood has not given us a sexy woman in a very long time. I remember, when you research old Hollywood, when they do give us sexy women, like they gave us like Pamela Anderson. Not today. She's nasty now. Okay, you saw that Naked Gun movie they made. Oh, she looks like crap. Okay, but back in the 90s, she was the it girl. She was sexy. I saw her in Baywatch. She was sexy. She was most definitely sexy. Okay, back in the day, they had Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe was sexy. Okay, Jane Mansfield was sexy. Okay, when you got these other women that are trying to be, distinguished and debutantes and classically beautiful and all that stuff. Okay, they're just coming across as rich, stuck-up bitches. Okay, men want sexy. Okay, and in today's society, because of the liberal-dominated media, women aren't allowed to be sexy anymore because that pisses off feminists. It means they're being exploited. It means that men are using them. Okay, you see what I mean? That's why you won't see a sexy woman in a rom-com. You're not going to see her in a rom-com. Okay? At least not. You haven't seen one recently. Okay? I don't think Sydney Sweeney's in a rom-com yet. Okay? But, and that's what I'm talking about. Okay? Well, Hollywood is giving you, they want pretty. Like think Dakota Johnson. There you go. That's pretty. Not sexy. That's pretty. Anne Hathaway. That's pretty. Not sexy. That's pretty. Emily Blunt. That's pretty. Not sexy. That's pretty. Sofia Vergara. That's sexy. That's sexy. You see what I mean? You see the difference? Gwyneth Paltrow. That's pretty. Not sexy. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. Okay, Hollywood keeps cranking out the pretty girls because women are not intimidated by pretty girls. They're intimidated by sexy girls. Okay? Pretty girls are what modern women see themselves as. Oh, I can be that. But sexy is what men want. Okay? And unfortunately, ladies, most of you can't be that. Okay? I'm going to give you a straight man's point of view. I know that pisses you off for me to say that, but it's true. That's why I got this channel. I'm going to give you a straight man's point of view. I review chick flicks here to give you a straight man's point of view. I'm going to tell you what your boyfriend ain't going to tell you, your husband ain't going to tell you, and your dad ain't going to tell you this, if you even know your dad. Okay? Because I'm not screwing around here. I got nothing to gain by lying to you. Okay? I just watched this abortion of a movie. Okay? And I'm going to tell you the honest to God truth. Okay? Sydney Sweeney is sexy as hell. Okay? Your boyfriend ain't going to tell you that, but deep down inside you know that. You know that. You know that men are attracted to her. Okay? We are. I'm attracted to her. Okay? She's sexy. Okay? It doesn't mean I'm going to sleep with her. I'm never going to meet her in my life. What the hell does it matter? Right? You all have your Channing Tatums in the back of your mind that you don't talk to your boyfriend about. Okay? Y'all have that. You older women have your Johnny Depp in the back of your mind that you don't tell your husband about. Okay? Okay, so we have that too. We're just not allowed to express that in a movie. Okay? But I'm talking to you the way I would talk to a man. Okay? So if you can't handle it, get the hell out right now. Okay? I'm not going to spare your feelings. I'm going to tell you the truth. Okay? And yes, okay, you're never going to see it in a movie, but man, we get attracted to women. We are. I know. Holy shit. You know? In real life, we're actually the ones that make the first move. I know, you never see that in movies. It's always a woman that makes the first move. Okay? But no, in real life, we make the first move. Okay? We're the ones that are running the show when it comes to courtship. Okay? At least the real men are. In the movies, it's the women run everything. Okay? And that's just not realistic. Okay? And realistically, women don't want to run everything. Okay? So what I'm telling you is that men find Sydney Sweeney attractive, and that pisses off a lot of feminists. And the feminists and the gay guys are the ones that are the gatekeepers of Hollywood. Okay, so it's very surprising that they made this movie. So why did this movie get made? If Hollywood hates sexy women, then why did this movie, straight sexy women, okay, well then why did this movie get made? Well, I'll tell you why it got made. It got made because Sydney Sweeney is a producer, because she managed to get the rights to this thing. Okay, it's a best-selling book series. Okay, and so, once it became a bestseller, all these studios started throwing money at the author for the rights to make this movie. Okay, the book only came out not even 4 years ago. It came out in 2022, and it just turned 2026. Okay, So this is a hot property, okay? So let's talk about the background of this movie, okay? And the reason I want to review it is because it's the It movie right now, okay? Like, it's still playing in theaters right now. It just came out last month. It's playing in theaters right now. It's making decent money, okay? I think that right now it's almost at $200 million. So it's probably by the time you see this video, it's probably at $200 million right now, which is not a lot. I mean, that's what the Marvels made. That's what the Marvels made 3 years ago. Okay, remember that Captain Marvel movie, the Marvels, that superhero movie that Marvel made. Okay, it was called the Marvels with Brie Larson. Yeah, that's about how much money the Marvels made. Okay, but the difference is the Marvels cost them like $300 million just to make the movie, and then another 100 million, 150 million to market it. Okay, and it only made 200 million, so it's a huge loss. Huge loss. This movie only cost them $35 million to make. $35 million to make. Why? Because Sydney Sweeney is an up-and-coming actress, okay? She's not A-list yet. She's an up-and-coming actress. And then you've also got Amanda Seyfried, who's she's a has-been now, okay? She had her 20 years, okay? She first came out as a kid in the late 90s, and then she had her time like in the 2000s and stuff. In the 2000s, Amanda Seyfried, she always played the nice girl, the girl next door, like the girl. I reviewed Mamma Mia. Not the sequel, but the part one. Okay, it's on this channel. If you don't believe me, it's on this channel. All right, and she was in that. She played the girl that was getting married. She played the nice girl. Now she was a mean girl in Mean Girls. Okay, but she was such an airhead that she was so stupid. Okay, she was like retarded. Okay, in Mean Girls. Okay, but she was in that. Okay, she always played the girl next door, the nice girl. The loving, caring girl. The honest girl. There'd always be like a bad girl, and then there'd be a good girl. And Amanda Seyfried always played the good girl. Okay, like Dear John. Okay, that's she plays the girl that Channing Tatum falls in love with. And I got to review that movie because that movie's a load of crap. Okay, she did that. There was a Little Red Riding Hood movie, like a horror. Like they tried to do like Twilight it. Remember when Twilight was a big thing? Okay, back in the 2000s. Well, they tried to do that with Little Red Riding Hood. Make it a little sexy Little Red Riding Hood type thing for teenage girls, and they did one, and it was I can't remember the name of it, but Amanda Seyfried played Little Red Riding Hood. Okay, even though she wasn't little, she was like 19 or 20 or 23 years old or something like that. But yeah, she played that. Okay, I just remember I saw it once, and I remember Virginia Madison was in it, and I remember the dad from Twilight, Bella's dad, I guess the sheriff or whatever in Twilight. He played like the werewolf. Some of you have probably seen it, right? You know the one I'm talking about. So she plays like the nice girl. And then about 10 years ago or so, she decided to shift her career. Instead of playing the nice girl, she decided to play the bitch. Okay, she started playing women that cheated on their boyfriends. Okay, you don't find out until the end. I know she did one with that idiot from Breaking Bad. I forgot his name. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay, and then I never saw that movie. That's why I don't know. Okay, and I never watched Breaking Bad. Although I got every episode, but I just haven't gone around watching it. Okay, and then she started playing like she played a wife that was cheating on Kevin Bacon. Played her husband, and she was cheating on him. Okay, so she started playing bitches. So she went from playing nice girls to playing bitches. Okay, and then her career kind of fell off because everything she made was a flop. So now she comes back with this. That's why this movie only cost $35 million. Because in the past, when she was in her 20s, she would have started movies that cost like $100 million. Okay, this movie cost $35 million. So it was cheap. Okay, so I'm pretty sure she got paid scale. And if this movie's a hit, which it looks like it is, it's a modest hit, but it's a hit. Okay, we're gonna see a lot more Amanda Seyfried. Okay, and apparently the author wrote 3 books, so they're gonna make 2 more movies. And Amanda Seyfried's probably gonna be in them. Okay, playing her character from here. Okay, so this is her comeback. Is playing this loony bitch. Okay, and this is a franchise for Sydney Sweeney. This is what she wants. Okay, a franchise is like guaranteed work. It's a guaranteed paycheck. You see, that's what they want. Everything in Hollywood right now is franchises. Okay, and The Housemaid is a franchise. Okay, so that's why they picked it. That's why they scooped it up. All right, and Sydney Sweeney's sexy. Okay, that's something different. Okay, and men want to see sexy women. I was very much attracted to her. Usually, when I'm watching these chick flicks, okay, I'm usually not attracted to the women that are on there. Okay, like Nicole, I reviewed what was it called again? Damn it, how come I can't remember it now? Okay, Baby Girl. I reviewed Baby Girl last year. Okay, and Nicole Kidman is like 58-year-old. What the hell, dude? She don't need to be taking off her clothes. I don't need to see sex scenes with a 58-year-old Botoxed up woman. Okay, who's on Ozempic with fake tits. It's just not my thing. Okay, not my thing. I don't want to see that. All right, but that's what they gave us. Okay, so usually these movies, like I said, these movies, they cast the women for relatability purposes. Okay, they can't be ugly or won't be believable, but they can't be sexy or else the women won't want to watch it. It'll just remind them of how ugly they are or how they're not that sexy in real life. You see what I mean? And that will piss off women and they won't go see it. So, they want someone that they could see themselves as. Okay, and that's why they always cast these mid women. Like I said, Dakota Johnson, perfect example for these chick flicks because they're relatable. Okay, and that's why they do it. Okay, Emily Blunt, Anne Hathaway, that's why they do it. Okay, Kate Hudson, there's another one, although her time has passed. But for a long time, that was it. She was pretty, but she wasn't sexy. You see what I mean? That's the difference. Okay, Sydney Sweeney falls out of the cast. Sydney Sweeney's sexy. All right, so let's talk about this movie here. Housemaid. It came out last year. Like I said, the budget was $35 million to make this movie. Right now, it's at about $200 million, which is a profit. Okay, when you think about it, marketing was probably $80 million, $60 million, and then with a $35 million budget, yeah, it's probably made about $100 million, maybe a little bit over. Okay, in profit. That's profit. That's good. That's really good. Okay. Okay, and now obviously 200 million is not that much when it comes to big budget movies. But let me tell you something, okay? I think last year was like the worst year in Hollywood at the movie theaters, like in 30 years. Like the worst. Like they weren't making any money at all. Nobody was going to movie theaters. Every movie that came out last year flopped. Almost every single one did. Okay? To have a movie that actually made a profit is like a rarity now. Because people are not going to the theaters. Look at Avatar. Okay, Avatar is just now crossed $1 billion. Okay, I think it's at like $1.2 billion. Avatar 3. Okay, the one that came out last month. Okay, now that's a lot of money. That's a huge success, right? But then you got to remember that Avatar 2 did almost $2 billion, and Avatar 1 did do $2 billion, over $2 billion. Okay, so a little bit over $1 billion compared to the prequels. Is not that good, okay? And that's a movie everyone went to go see, okay? And it didn't do as well. People aren't going to the theaters, okay? We all know why they're not going. They're not going to theaters for a lot of different reasons. But the main reason people aren't going to movie theaters is not because of streaming, okay? It's because of quality, okay? Hollywood is producing shit. They're producing shit that nobody wants to see, okay? I went with a woman to go see this movie, okay? And even she didn't like it. And she didn't like it. This movie was made for her. Okay? She was the appropriate age, the appropriate everything. Okay? And she didn't even like it. All right? Because Hollywood's making crap. They're not making things that people want to see. Okay? And yes, it's fucking woke. It is woke. This movie's woke. That's the problem. Everything Hollywood's making is woke. Even when they tell you it's not woke, it is woke. Okay? It is. And people are tired of that. We've been getting fed a daily stream of woke for the past like 12 years, and we're sick of it. We don't want it anymore. We're allergic to it. And if that's all Hollywood's going to give us, okay, then we're not going to go to the theater. You know why? Because the trailers didn't tell us it was woke. Okay? We thought we were going to get something, and then we actually pay our money and sit in the theater, and we find out, no, it's woke. So now we don't trust you. Now we don't trust the trailer. We don't trust the production companies. We don't trust the producers. Okay, so we're like, you know what? If it's going to end up being woke, at least I can change the channel at home. Okay, instead of spending $25 to go see this movie in a theater or an IMAX or whatever. Okay, or $200 if I go with a date. You know, when you include the popcorn and the food, you know, and all that, and the service tax because you bought your ticket online and all that crap. You know, yeah, it's gonna be $150 easy. Not worth it. Not worth it just to find out the movie was woke. You see what I mean? And so, yeah, so that pisses me off, okay? And it's pissed off enough people. That's why those superhero movies aren't doing good. Because they thought, like, oh, my God, this might be pretty good. The trailer looks good, and we actually go see the movie. No, it's woke. It's woke. Well, now we're not going to trust them again. So when they tell us, wait till the next one, it's going to be even better, we're like, no, it's not. And if it is better, I'll watch it at home. I can give you my money. That's why people quit going to the Marvel movies. That's why people quit going to see superhero movies. Because the shit was just woke. We're just woke. I mean, we can get woke on Netflix for $15 a month. Okay? Why do I got to spend $25 or $30 per person to see it in a theater, to drive all the way to the theater to see woke? You see what I mean? It's not working. It's not working at all. Okay, and we know that. That's what they're trying to course correct it now, but they didn't start till last year. So that means that if they do make something that's not woke, like they're saying, okay, it's going to be another year or two before we even get to see that stuff. Because everything we're seeing right now, they were making when Biden was president. Okay, when Hollywood thought that it's going to be Democrat liberals for the next 30 years. Okay, that's what they thought when they were making this movie. Well, they got a rude awakening. Okay, and now they're trying to play catch up. Okay, so now they have no choice; they have to release everything. They can't get rid of it. They already spent too much money on it. They got to make something. They got to release it. You see what I mean? Because they got nothing left. Anything that they're making now that's going to be different from what they've made is going to take some time before it comes out. You see what I mean? That's the problem. All right, The Housemaid, last year. The book was written by a woman named Frida McFadden. I know, she sounds Irish, doesn't she? That's what she's not. Okay, that's not her name. Okay, Frida McFadden, that's her pen name. Okay, her real name is Sarah Cohen. Yes. Yes. Okay, Frida McFadden, it sounds Irish, doesn't it? You know, like a Christian, maybe Midwestern American girl, you know, who just was writing romance novels in her spare time, and she just happened to get a publisher that liked this manuscript and decided to give her a deal, you know, so she could quit her job at Walmart, okay, you know, and you know, and start writing full time and blah blah blah. Said no. Her real name is Sarah Cohen. She's a rich Jewish girl from Manhattan. She grew up in Manhattan. Rich Jewish girl that grew up in Manhattan. She went to Harvard, okay, to study mathematics. Okay, and then she became a doctor, believe it or not, a doctor. She has a medical degree. She's a doctor, and she was writing these stories in her spare time. Okay, but yes, no, she's a Jewish woman. Okay, a rich Jewish woman from New York, which is the heart of the publishing industry, at least in America it is. All right, that's who she really is. Her real name's Sarah Cohen. Okay, and she's written 2 sequels to this book, The Housemaid. Part 2 is called The Handmaid's Secret, and that came out in 2023. Yeah, recent. Okay, and then part 3 is called The Housemaid is Watching, and that came out in 2024. This movie, The Housemaid, came out in 2022. All right, so it's recent. Like I said, they picked it up right away and put it into production. Okay, and they got Sydney Sweeney because when you're the hot girl, let me explain this to you. When you're the hot girl in Hollywood, okay, they offer you a lot of roles. Because you might be the hot girl right now, but you know, in 6 months you might not be. You might get replaced. Okay, so since Sydney Sweeney became the hot girl last year, okay, she became the hot girl because of 2024 she became the hot girl because of Madam Web. Okay, because her Saturday Night Live performance, everyone saw how sexy she was. People liked her. Men responded to her, and so they started offering her all these movie deals. Okay, and that's what they did. Now, so far, all of them have flopped. Okay, this is the only one that's been successful. Let me tell you a little bit about Sydney Sweeney here. I'll get to her in a minute. Let's talk about the director. The director of this movie is Paul Feig, or as I say, Paul Fag. All right, because he is. Okay, this guy has no testosterone in it at all. And how do I know that name? Okay, because he did the fucking Ghostbusters movie from 2016. You remember that one where he turned the Ghostbusters into women? Remember that? Okay, remember how successful that movie was? No, it wasn't. It was a big, huge flop. Okay, and there's a reason they had to reboot it back to the original Ghostbusters, okay, or at least the ones that were still alive, okay. Now, I'm not saying that the rebooted Ghostbusters, okay, the one that has, you know, the kid from Stranger Things, Finn Wolfhard, okay, and Paul Rudd, okay, and cameos from the original surviving Ghostbusters. I'm not saying that those are successful. They're not. The last one sucked, okay, when they froze New York. That sucked, and that was woke. Okay, but it was infinitely better. Those 2 movies were infinitely better than this piece of crap. Okay, the Ghostbusters, the female Ghostbusters. Okay, that was a load of shit. Okay, that was just a load of shit. Okay, nobody liked it. Everybody hated it. That was Hollywood's first attempt to really just hit us with the DEI, the wokeness, and the audience responded. Okay, you pissed off. You know, you didn't get any feminists to go see the movie, number 1, so you attracted no new fans. And the old fans of the original Ghostbusters, like me, we saw this shit go like, fuck that noise. That ain't my Ghostbusters. My Ghostbusters is Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, okay? And what the hell's his name? Egon Spengler, Harold Ramis. Those are my Ghostbusters. Not this shit. Okay? And it's true. It was nowhere near as good. It was just crap. It was just woke crap. The bad guy was a straight white man. Okay, it's the usual shit. Okay, the only other straight white man was Chris Hemsworth, and he was a dumbass. He was just a dumbass in the whole movie. Okay, that's what they think of men, straight men, particularly straight white men. Right, we're either dumbasses or we're evil. Okay, or we're cowards. Okay, we're just a bunch of pussies. All right, that was the whole point of Ghostbusters. All right, the female Ghostbusters, and it sucked. And that came out in 2016. He also did The Heat. Okay, which was another parody of the Buddy Buddy Cop, but they used women. See, that's all he does. He just switches the genders. Okay, Ghostbusters was guys, right? So he made girls. Okay, something like Lethal Weapon, that's about two guys, right? So he just did it with girls. Okay, The Heat, that was with Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy. Okay, I did not see that piece of shit. I think I saw part of it. So I don't know what it's about. That's Paul Feig. Okay, that's him too. Spy, that's the James Bond riff. Okay, he took James Bond and just flipped it and turned it into a woman. Okay, Melissa McCarthy. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Okay, and that came out in 2015. Wow, that's been 10 years now. Okay, I saw part of that movie, that piece of shit. It's Melissa McCarthy, so obviously it's not meant to be taken seriously. But I know that she has a crush like on Jude Law or something. And Jude Law, who's bald, is wearing a wig in it. It's just stupid as hell. Okay, yeah, Melissa McCarthy. They try to do like a female James Bond, but with a fat woman in there. Yeah, good luck with that. It flopped. Okay, but he did do one movie that was really good. Okay, and I gotta admit it was good, and that's the one that put him on the map. It was Bridesmaids. He did Bridesmaids in 2011. I have seen that movie. I did enjoy that movie. Okay, Paul Feig can make a good one. What was Bridesmaids? Another gender swap. It was basically a female version of The Hangover. Okay, the Hangover movies. That's what it was, but it was successful. It was good. It was original. It was funny. It had something to say. It's the movie that put Melissa McCarthy on the map. Okay, she stole the scenes that she was in. Okay, Kristen Wiig did a good job. Okay, there's a reason he brought them back for Ghostbusters, because he liked working with them before. Okay, it was a Saturday Night Live alumni in there as well. So it was good. I did enjoy Bridesmaids. Okay. I will give him that one. That one was good. Bridesmaids was good. Okay. But Paul Feig, for the most part, he has struck out. He is a male feminist. He's a closeted homosexual. He won't come out with his sexuality, but clearly he's gay. Like, if you look at the way he dresses, he wears these tight suits with pink socks and pink ties. Okay, gay glasses. Okay, he says, I've read interviews with him where he said he was bullied as a kid by the boys. The jocks used to bully him when he was a kid. He used to make fun of his last name. Get it? Okay, and that he was closer to his mom. He has not 1 ounce of testosterone in him. He never liked things that guys typically like. He never liked sports or things like that. Okay, football, nothing. He was always like a girly boy. All right, get it? Okay, and he's the guy. He's the guy that made this movie. All right, Paul Feig, or as I call him, Paul Fag. All right. So that's the guy who made this movie. The screenplay was written by a woman named Rebecca Sonnenschein. Okay, I'm sure that's her real name. And if you know her, she wrote a lot of episodes of The Vampire Diaries. And she also wrote a lot of episodes of The Boys, which is the show on Amazon Prime. Now, The Boys is based on a comic book. And I'm telling you right now, the comic book is better than the show. Okay, although the show is pretty good sometimes. Okay, the show is woke as fuck. I mean, Seth Rogen is producing it, so of course it's woke as fuck. All right, okay, but I think it was unplanned. Okay, if you've ever watched The Boys, then you know, okay, that the reason people watch The Boys, the reason it's such a hit show, okay, is not because of the good guys. It's not because of what's his name, Dennis Quaid's and Meg Ryan's son. What's his name? Not Randy Quaid. That's his brother. Something Quaid. Okay, there's Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan. They used to be married. They have a son. He's the star of the show. Okay, and so it's because of the villain of the show, Homelander. Homelander is a metaphor for Donald Trump. They hate Donald Trump, so they've got this Donald Trump Superman-esque. He wears the American flag, but he's actually a psychopath killer. He's a rapist. He's a pedophile. He's racist. He's sexist. He's everything that the liberals ascribe to Donald Trump. And so they give the character of Homelander all these qualities. But Homelander is invincible. He's like Superman, but there is no kryptonite to defeat him. Okay? So he's legitimately terrifying to face, because he will kill innocent people. He will harm children. Okay? And you never know when he's going to just lose his temper and do something horrible. Okay? So there's a lot of tension in all the scenes that he's in. And it's that tension that we feel with the character of Homelander that is addictive. We want to see Homelander. We want to see what he's going to do next. We want to see how he's going to surprise us and scare us and intimidate us. Okay? Because even the good guys on the show are afraid of him because he's so powerful and he's left unchecked. His only weakness is his own insecurities. Okay? That's a terrifying villain. And that's what they ascribe to Donald Trump. That's why Homelander's in the show to begin with. Okay? He was not this big of a deal in the comic book. Okay? In fact, the main character, Bill the Butcher, in the comic book, he's a psychopath. But in this show, he's like an anti-hero. He's got a conscience. In the comic book, he has no conscience. He's just as bad as the bad guys he's fighting. All right? That's a different thing. Anyway, the point is that Homelander is such a captivating character that the evilness of Homelander is what brings people back to watch the show. That's why the show's a hit. And that's not what the writers of the show wanted. They wanted you to hate Homelander. They wanted you to like look at Homelander and then think about Donald Trump and think about how you're going to go to Butler, Pennsylvania. You know, that's what they wanted you to do. Okay. But that's not what happened. People were fascinated by this evil character who kept getting away with doing evil things because nobody could stop him. Okay. That's why the show's a hit. And that's not what the writers wanted at all. They kind of screwed up. They made the bad guy, the one they wanted you to hate, so interesting that the people kept coming back to see what the bad guy's going to do. You see what I mean? So that's why The Boys is a success. It's not because it's not woke. It's because it's so woke, it didn't realize that you were giving conservatives exactly what they wanted to see. That's what happened. They went so woke that it went all the way to being normal. Okay? And yes, the writer Rebecca Sonnenschein was part of that. Okay? Who stars in this thing? All right, so Sydney Sweeney. Now, Sydney Sweeney, for the record, is 28 years old. That's why she's an it girl right now. Once she hits her 30s, she won't be an it girl anymore. So she needs to cash in on her potential fame right now. That's why she's doing so many movies. I mean, she's spitting out movies like a fucking machine gun right now. Okay, hoping that one of them sticks. Okay, she's throwing shit at the wall, hoping that one of it sticks. Okay, and so far it looks like this finally sticks. Okay, she's produced a lot of shit. Yes, she's sexy. Okay, but she's been doing chick flicks. And what did I say about chick flicks? Women, the feminists don't want sexy women. Okay? They don't want a woman that men are going to be attracted to. They want a woman that they can relate to. You see what I mean? Okay, Sydney Sweeney, okay, she plays Millie Calloway. Now, what has she done? Okay, well, she did this show called Euphoria. I've never seen that show for two reasons, because I'm not a woman and I'm not gay. All right, but apparently she was on that show. Okay, she did a movie that I was thinking about reviewing in 2023. It's called Anyone But You. That was a rom-com with, what's his name? Glenn something. The guy that was a Running Man. I forgot his name. Damn, how can I forget? Glenn Powell. Sorry, Glenn Powell, who's the it guy right now. Although he did just have a big flop. Okay, the Running Man flopped a few months ago. I saw it, but nobody else did. Okay, Glenn Powell. Okay, so yeah, he was the it guy. I don't know who's the it guy now, but I think he's still kind of the it guy right now. But him and her were in a movie in 2023. It was a rom-com called Anyone But You. That movie flopped. Okay, so there's one. There's strike one. Okay, and then she did Madam Web, and that was in 2024. She was not the main character. Dakota Johnson was the main character. She was a supporting character. She played a Marvel superhero named Spider-Woman. Okay, yeah, I'm a comic book nerd. Okay, she played Julia Carpenter, who in the comic books was the second Spider-Woman. The first Spider-Woman was Jessica Drew, and so far no one has played her in live action. Okay, but she did have her own cartoon in the late 70s that I watched. Okay, I forgot the actress although I met her recently, but I forgot the actress that played her. I'll have to think about that. Anyway, she played Julia Carpenter, who in the comic book was the second Spider-Woman, okay? And she was that character in Madam Web. That's a movie they made her ugly in that movie, okay? They like you couldn't see her tits, and she dressed very conservatively. You know, she wore glasses and stuff, okay? And she was one of like 3 sidekicks that Sydney Sweeney had in that movie, so they didn't focus a lot on her, okay? You had one Latina, one black girl, and one white girl. Sydney Sweeney played the white girl. Okay, but Dakota Johnson was the main character in that movie. And that movie did suck. All right? So it's strike 2 right there. Okay, what else did she do? Okay, she did Immaculate in 2024 also. I did not see that movie. I have no idea what it's about. Nobody went to go see that movie. It made no money. Strike 3. Okay, then she also did Eden in 2024. Same year as Madam Web, same year as Immaculate. She did a 3rd movie called Eden. Nobody went to go see that movie. I have no idea what it's about. It made no money. Okay. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. That's strike 4. And then last year, 2025, she came out with a movie called Echo Valley. I have no idea what that's about. Nobody went to go see it. It made no money. Strike 5. And also last year, she's trying to win an Oscar. So she had an Oscar bait movie called Christie. Now she got the rights. She bought the rights with her own money to that. It's a movie about a real life boxer, like a female boxer, okay, who was ugly. So Sydney Sweeney had to make herself look ugly because that's how you win Academy Awards. If you're hot or sexy or pretty, if you want to win an Academy Award, you got to make yourself ugly. Okay, that's what Charlize Theron did when she won her Academy Award for Monster. She played a serial killer. She had to make herself ugly for that movie. Sydney Sweeney wanted to do that route. Oh, I'm not just an actress for my body and my looks. I can do more than that. Okay, so she made herself ugly to play a real life female boxer who was a lesbian. Okay, and of course, men are all bad. Okay, that movie is called Christie. It's based on a true story, and that also came out last year. Okay, no, I heard about that movie, but I did not go see it. Nobody went to go see it. It made no money. It's about a lesbian, ugly female boxer. And she made herself ugly for that movie. Nobody went to go see it. It won no awards so far. Yeah, it's a huge flop. She even admitted, I didn't make the movie to make money. Well, yeah, well, say that to the people that produced the movie for you, that expected a return on their investment. Okay, yeah, that movie made absolute money. So that's strike 6. She struck out 6 times in a row. This is her first hit. Okay? And it's not for lack of trying. Okay? So that's where we got this. That's where we got this. All those movies were flops. Okay? Until this one. Okay? And this one's only made $200 million. Okay? But it only cost $35 million to make. So it made a profit. All right? Amanda Seyfried is in this movie. I already told you about her. Okay? The good girl who now plays bad girls. Her career's in a slump right now. Okay? That's why she's in this movie. Okay? She's freaking 40 years old, okay? She can't be playing the young girlfriend anymore, okay? She plays Nina Winchester, okay? Her co-star, the other boss bitch that's in this movie, okay? Brandon Sklenar plays the bad guy, the love interest, the bad guy. He plays Andrew Winchester. If you remember him, I remember him from last year. He was in the movie It Ends With Us, okay? I have already reviewed that movie, okay? At the same time that the scandal was going on. Okay, the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni scandal. I made 20-something videos on it. If you want to know what I think about that movie, look it up on my channel. It's already there. Okay, Brandon Sklenar, or Sklenar, yeah. Yeah, he's like the hot guy right now, the chick flick actor right now, because nobody will take him seriously in a man's movie. Okay, yes, he plays the love interest / bad guy, because, men are all bad, of course. They're all bad, they're all evil, they're stupid, or they're evil, they're stupid, or they're cowards. They're pussies. Okay? All men in Hollywood. Especially if they're white. Okay? The only exception to that is if you're gay. If you're gay, then you get treated with respect. Okay? All right, so there's that. Okay, Michael Marone plays this guy named Enzo Accardi. He's a nothing guy. He's like the gardener who gives these looks like that a lot. And yeah, that's it with him. And then Elizabeth Perkins, she came out of the grave to do this movie. Okay, you remember her? She was she was popular in the 80s. I remember her when I was a kid. Okay, she was in About Last Night with Rob Lowe and Demi Moore. She played Demi Moore's best friend, and Jim Belushi played Rob Lowe's best friend in that movie. It was filmed in Chicago. It was actually filmed at a bar in downtown Chicago on the Gold Coast that I used to work at, called Mother's. It was filmed there. Okay, yeah, she was in that. She was in Big with Tom Hanks. She played the love interest in that movie. The adult woman that was sleeping with a 12-year-old boy who was in the body of a 30-year-old man. Okay, yes, Elizabeth. She was in that. She was also in 28 Days. That was Sandra Bullock. That was in the early 2000s or late 90s or something, where Sandra Bullock played an alcoholic who had to go to rehab, and Liz Perkins played her sister who hated her for ruining her wedding or something like that. Okay, and of course, if you saw the 1990s Flintstones movie with John Goodman, she played Wilma Flintstone in that, and butt ugly Rosie O'Donnell played Betty Rubble. Okay, and Rick Moranis played Barney Rubble in that piece of crap movie. Okay, but yes, That's Elizabeth Perkins. So I remember her very well from the 80s and somewhat from the 90s. Okay, she was always cute. She was never sexy, but she was always cute. But now she's just old. Okay, and she has a small role in this movie. It's very little, but that's it. Okay, so that's The Housemaid. Okay, that's the movie I'm about to review. Now, just so you know, I want to get this over the way here. Okay, this here, Diego knows at knows Diego. Okay, that is my X, because this video is going to go on X as well. And this right here, Diego de la Vega knows. Okay, that is my Rumble. Okay, this video is going to be on Rumble as well. Diego de la Vega knows. Okay. And the reason I do that is YouTube doesn't like me very much. They just came at me with a video I did for that movie Baby Girl last year. They told me they age restricted it. Well, when I make these videos, I always put down it's for adults only. So isn't it already age restricted? But anyway, you got to prove that you're at least 18 now to watch these videos. I posted this video like what, 5 months ago, 4 months ago, and just now they're telling me it's age restricted. Come on. Okay, that just makes it harder to watch. Okay, so screw them. If you get something like that on my video, if you come up to one of my videos and they tell you, oh, you got to prove you're 18 to watch it, just go to Rumble and watch it there, okay? Because Rumble's not going to do that to you, okay? Rumble is not run by libtards, okay? That's the reason there is a Rumble, okay? Because Google, anything that's not, part of their agenda, they don't like it, okay? So anyway, all right. So thank you for watching this long. The next time you see me, we're going to start talking about this movie, okay? All right. Thanks. Bye.